3 days before Christmas, the coldest CEO in New York invited his assistant to pretend to be his girlfriend. And she only said yes because she needed the money. But inside his family's mansion, snow falling, secrets unraveling, and one unexpected shared bed, something happened that neither of them planned for. Because the man everyone called the Ice King, he wasn't as frozen as he pretended to be. And the assistant who promised she wouldn't catch feelings, she was the first person who ever saw the real him. Picture this. It's 3 days before Christmas, and the executive floor of Sterling Industries is buzzing with last-minute holiday preparations. But in the corner office, there's one man who looks less than festive. Meet Richard Sterling, 42 years old, impeccably dressed, and known throughout the company as the CEO who never smiles. His employees call him the Ice King behind his back, and honestly, he's earned it. Richard runs his billion-dollar tech empire with military precision. No nonsense, no small talk, and definitely no Christmas parties. But today, Richard has a problem. His assistant, Olivia Bennett, stands before his massive mahogany desk, tablet in hand, waiting for his afternoon briefing. Olivia's been with the company for 3 years, working her way up from junior analyst to Richard's right-hand woman. She's brilliant, organized, and she has learned to anticipate his needs before he even speaks them. "Your 4 o'clock is here," she says professionally, adjusting her glasses. Richard doesn't look up from his laptop. "Cancel it." "It's your mother." His fingers freeze over the keyboard. "Tell her I'm in a meeting." "I've told her that 6 times this month. She's threatening to come up here." Richard finally looks up, his jaw tight. And that's when he says something that changes everything. "How would you like to spend Christmas in the Hamptons?" Olivia blinks. In 3 years, Richard has never asked her a personal question. "I'm sorry?" "My mother is hosting the annual Sterling Christmas gathering. She's been insistent that I bring someone this year. A girlfriend." He says the word like it physically pains him. "And you want me to recommend someone?" Olivia asks carefully. "No." Richard stands, buttoning his suit jacket in that decisive way he does before closing a major deal. "I want you to come with me as my girlfriend. It's just 3 days. You'll be compensated, of course, double your monthly salary as a bonus." Now, a smart woman would say no. This is her boss. This is a terrible idea wrapped in a Christmas bow. But here's what you need to know about Olivia. She's been sending money home to help her younger sister pay for medical school. That bonus? It would cover an entire semester. "What would this arrangement entail exactly?" she asks. "We arrive on Christmas Eve, attend the family dinner, stay through Christmas Day, leave the morning of the 26th. You'll have your own room, of course. We simply need to appear convincing." Olivia takes a deep breath. "I want triple salary and 4 extra vacation days." For the first time in 3 years, she sees something flicker across Richard's face. Is that respect? "Done," he says, extending his hand. When their hands touch, something shifts in the air. Neither of them acknowledges it. Scene transition. Christmas Eve. The Sterling family estate in the Hamptons is exactly what you'd imagine. A sprawling mansion with more bedrooms than a small hotel, decorated within an inch of its life. Every garland is perfectly placed, every ornament coordinates with the next. Richard's drogger pulls up the circular driveway, and Olivia can see her breath in the cold December air. She's wearing a cream cashmere sweater and dark jeans, an outfit she agonized over for an hour. "Remember," Richard says as they approach the door, We've been dating for 4 months. We met when you started working directly under me. Keep it vague. Under you? Olivia raises an eyebrow. Poor word choice. Is that almost a smile on Richard's face? Before she can confirm, the door swings open. Enter Patricia Sterling. 70 years old, 5 feet of pure determination, wearing a silk blouse and enough pearls to start a jewelry store. She takes one look at Olivia, and her eyes light up in a way that makes Richard visibly uncomfortable. "Finally!" Patricia exclaims, pulling Olivia into a hug. "Richard, she's gorgeous. And you," she holds Olivia at arm's length, "you're much too good for my son." "Mother!" "Hush! Come in, come in. Everyone's been dying to meet you. Richard never brings anyone home." The house is full. Richard's younger brother, James, is there with his wife and 2 kids. His sister, Caroline, flew in from London with her fiancé. Aunts, uncles, cousins, the Sterling clan is in full force. And they all want to know about Olivia. "How did he propose?" asks Aunt Dorothy over cocktails. "We're not engaged," Richard says quickly. "Yet," Patricia adds with a pointed look at her son. "How did you 2 meet?" Olivia launches into their rehearsed story, but Patricia isn't really listening to the words. She's watching how Richard looks at Olivia when she talks, how his hand hovers near the small of her back but never quite touches her, how he brings her a glass of water without her asking. "You work together?" Caroline asks skeptically. "And that doesn't get complicated?" "Olivia runs my entire schedule," Richard says, and there's something in his voice. Pride, maybe. "She's the most competent person I've ever worked with." "Wow," James mutters to his wife. "That's basically an 'I love you' in Richard speak." Dinner is a 12-course affair that feels more like a state dinner than a family meal. Olivia finds herself seated between Richard and his brother, fielding questions about her childhood, her education, her plans for the future. But here's what's interesting. Richard keeps rescuing her. Every time a question gets too personal, he smoothly redirects. When his uncle corners her about politics, Richard appears with a perfectly timed excuse to pull her away. "You don't have to protect me," Olivia whispers as they escape to the terrace for air. "I can handle your family." "I know you can," Richard says, and there's something different in his eyes. The ice has melted a little. "You handle me every day, and I'm significantly more difficult than Uncle Howard." Olivia laughs, surprised. "Did you just make a joke?" "Don't sound so shocked. I'm capable of humor." "I've worked for you for 3 years. This is literally the first joke I've heard." They stand in comfortable silence, watching snow begin to fall over the manicured gardens. Olivia shivers, and before she can react, Richard shrugs off his suit jacket and drapes it over her shoulders. "Thank you," she says softly, "for the jacket and for this. It isn't as awful as I expected." "High praise," Richard says dryly. But he's standing closer now, close enough that she can smell his cologne, something expensive and cedar-scented that she's noticed before in his office but never let herself think about. At 10 p.m., Patricia shows them upstairs. "We've put you in the East Wing," she says, opening a door to reveal a beautifully appointed bedroom with a 4-poster bed and a crackling fireplace. "Where's Olivia's room?" Richard asks. Patricia looks confused. "This is Olivia's room." "Well, both of yours. You're a couple, aren't you?" You could cut the tension with a knife. Richard and Olivia exchange looks. He's panicked in that controlled way of his, and she's trying very hard not to laugh. "The house is completely full," Patricia continues. "James and his family have their usual wing. Caroline and her fiancé are in the blue room. I assumed you 2 would want to stay together." She looks between them, suspicious now. "Unless there's a problem?" "No problem," Olivia says quickly, because the last thing they need is Patricia getting suspicious. It's perfect. Thank you. Patricia kisses them both goodnight and leaves. The door clicks shut. Silence. I'll sleep on the couch, Richard says immediately. Olivia looks at the ornate Victorian love seat by the window. It's maybe 5 feet long. Richard is 6'2". You won't fit. I'll make it work. Don't be ridiculous. The bed is enormous. We're adults. We can share a bed for 2 nights without it being weird. Are you sure? It's fine, really. Olivia opens her suitcase, pulling out pajamas. I'm going to change in the bathroom. You can take the left side. 20 minutes later, they're both in bed, separated by what feels like a football field of mattress. Richard is still wearing his undershirt and dress pants because he apparently didn't pack pajamas. Olivia is hyper-aware of every sound. The crackling fire, the wind outside, Richard's breathing. Thank you, Richard says suddenly into the darkness. For doing this, I know it's unusual. Why didn't you just tell your mother you're not seeing anyone? Long pause. Because she worries. After my father died, she became obsessed with making sure we're all settled, happy. She thinks I work too much and live too little, and she's probably right, but I don't know how to be any other way. It's the most personal thing Richard has ever said to her. Olivia turns her head on the pillow to look at him. In the firelight, his features are softer. You know what I think? She says quietly. I think you're exactly the way you need to be. You built something incredible. You give hundreds of people good jobs. You push everyone around you to be better, including me. That's not nothing. Richard turns to face her too. They're still separated by 2 feet of mattress, but it feels smaller now. You really believe that? I wouldn't say it if I didn't. I've been difficult to work for. That's an understatement. And yet you stayed. Because underneath the impossible standards and the graphic exterior, you're fair. You notice good work. You remember details. Last February, you asked about my sister's interview at Johns Hopkins. You remembered. Richard's quiet for a moment. Samantha, the medical school. I remember. Something is happening in this room, something neither of them planned for. It's in the way they're looking at each other, the way the conversation has shifted from professional to personal. Can I ask you something? And you have to answer honestly. All right. Why didn't you just tell your mother you're not seeing anyone? Takes a long breath. Because she worries. After my father died, she became obsessed with making sure we're all settled. Happy. She thinks I work too much and live too little, and she's probably right, but I don't know how to be any other way. Olivia's heart is pounding. What truth? That I'm not very good at this. Feelings, relationships, being human instead of just being a CEO. You're better at it than you think. They're quiet again, but now Olivia is acutely aware of every inch of space between them. She should roll over, go to sleep, maintain professional boundaries. Instead, she says, "Good night, Richard." Good night, Olivia. Neither of them sleeps much. Christmas morning at the Sterling estate is chaos. Kids opening presents, adults drinking mimosas, Patricia orchestrating everything like a general commanding troops. But Richard and Olivia? They're different today. Richard's hand rests on Olivia's lower back as they move through rooms. When she sits on the couch, he sits next to her, close. When his nephew asks Olivia to help with a difficult puzzle, Richard watches with something that looks a lot like fondness. They're good together, Patricia whispers to Caroline. Really good. Mom, don't start planning a wedding. They've only been dating 4 months. A mother knows, Patricia says with satisfaction. After lunch, Richard suggests a walk. The snow has blanketed everything in white, and the gardens look like something from a postcard. They bundle up and head outside, their breath fogging in the cold air. Your family is wonderful, Olivia says. Overwhelming, but wonderful. They like you. My mother is already planning our wedding. Oh, God. I'm joking. Mostly. Richard pauses by a frozen fountain. Olivia, I need to tell you something. Her heart skips. Okay. This pretending with you, I haven't been pretending, not really. He's struggling with the words, this man who commands boardrooms with ease. Last night, what I said about you being the only one who knows me, I meant it. And somewhere in the past 24 hours, I've realized that this arrangement we have, it's not enough anymore. Olivia stares at him. Richard, I know this is complicated. I'm your boss. I'm not good at relationships. I work 80-hour weeks and I have the emotional availability of a brick wall. But I don't know how to say this. Then show me, Olivia whispers. Richard Sterling, the man who never acts without a strategic plan, who analyzes every decision from 12 angles, who built an empire on calculated risk. He doesn't calculate this. He kisses her. It's soft at first, tentative, like he's afraid she'll pull away, but Olivia doesn't pull away. She leans in, her hands finding the front of his coat, and the kiss deepens. 3 years of professional tension, of suppressed glances and ignored attraction, all pours into this single moment in a snowy garden on Christmas Day. When they finally break apart, Richard rests his forehead against hers. I should have done that 3 years ago. No, Olivia says, breathless. 3 years ago, I would have slapped you. 3 years ago, I thought you were an insufferable robot. But now I know you. And she hesitates. You what? I think I might be falling for you, the real you, the one who remembers my sister's name and brings me water without asking, and who's actually terrified of his 70-year-old mother. Richard laughs, actually laughs, and the sound is so unexpected and genuine that Olivia wants to bottle it. I'm not terrified of her, I'm strategically cautious.
Keep telling yourself that, Mr. Sterling. When we're alone, he says, I'd prefer if you called me Richard. We've been alone plenty of times. Not like this. He kisses her again, softer this time. Not when I can do this. They head back inside, and if anyone notices that they're holding hands now, really holding hands, not just for show, well, Patricia certainly notices. She catches Olivia alone in the kitchen later. He's different with you, the older woman says, pouring them both tea. Softer. I haven't seen Richard smile like this since before his father died. Mrs. Sterling. Patricia, please. And I want you to know something. She takes Olivia's hand. I don't care how you two met or what the arrangement was. What I care about is that my son is happy. Really happy. And watching him watch you, that's real. Olivia feels tears prick her eyes. This wasn't supposed to happen. The best things never are. Patricia squeezes her hand. Now, you two are staying through New Year's, right? We're supposed to leave tomorrow. Change of plans, I insist. Back in their shared room, Olivia and Richard are packing when he suddenly stops and turns to her. Stay, he says. Your mother already invited us. No, I mean, yes, stay for New Year's. But I also mean stay with me. Not as my assistant, as more. Olivia sits on the edge of the bed. Richard, we need to think about this. The company has policies. The power dynamic. I'll have HR draft a new contract. You'll report to the board directly instead of to me. Or I'll help you transition to a VP role in a different division with full autonomy. We'll do this right, Olivia. No impropriety. No questions about your advancement being tied to our relationship. He sits next to her, taking her hands. I know this is sudden. I know I'm asking a lot. But I've spent 3 years being professionally impressed by you, and 1 weekend being completely undone by you. I don't want to go back to just professional. What if it doesn't work? Olivia asks quietly.
What if we're better as colleagues than as whatever this is? Then we'll figure it out together. But I think, he lifts her chin so she's looking at him, I think we owe it to ourselves to try. Olivia thinks about the past 3 years, the long hours, the challenging projects, the way Richard pushes her to be better, the way she's learned to read his moods, the way they work together like a well-oiled machine. And she thinks about yesterday and today, the way he looked at her, the way he opened up, the way kissing him felt like coming home. Okay, she says, let's try. But I have conditions. Name them. 1, we keep it professional at work until HR sorts everything out. 2, you have to actually use vacation days. 3, you're teaching me to golf so I can stop scheduling your golf meetings blind. And 4, she smiles, you have to smile more. That's non-negotiable. Richard pulls her close, and this time when he smiles, it reaches his eyes. Deal. They stay through New Year's, then through January because Patricia insists they need to experience the Hamptons in winter. Richard works remotely, and Olivia discovers that the CEO she thought she knew was actually capable of sleeping past 6 a.m., of laughing at terrible jokes, of building snowmen with his nephew. In February, HR approves their relationship disclosure. Olivia accepts a VP position heading up a new innovation division. She keeps an office near Richard's, but they're colleagues now, equals, and somehow that makes everything better. In June, Richard proposes on the beach outside his mother's house. It's sunrise, and Olivia is still in pajamas, and when he gets down on one knee in the sand, she doesn't even let him finish the question before saying yes. They get married the following Christmas, in that same mansion where they shared a room, and discovered that sometimes the best relationships start with a well-intentioned lie. And Richard Sterling, the Ice King of Sterling Industries, he smiles at his own wedding. A lot. Patricia makes sure everyone knows she called it first.
Because here's the thing about fake dating. Sometimes you have to pretend to be something you're not to discover what you really are. Richard pretended to have a girlfriend and found the woman he wanted to spend his life with. Olivia pretended to be in love and fell into it for real. They still work together. They still challenge each other. They still argue about optimal meeting schedules and whether coffee at 3 p.m. is necessary or excessive. But now, at the end of those long days, they go home together, to an apartment in the city with terrible furniture they picked out together, and a Christmas tree that stays up way too long every year. And every night, Richard Sterling, CEO, billionaire, former Ice King, falls asleep next to the woman who knows him better than anyone, grateful for a mother who meddles, a Christmas he dreaded, and a shared room that changed everything. Sometimes the best gifts come in the most unexpected packages.